Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So I'm just gonna quickly showcase a different method of using the hedge within this Super Hedge EA. It's different in, oh by the way, if you've not seen my previous video, I'd recommend going and having a look at that first, where I just go through briefly how the EA works, just so you know exactly what this video is going through. So in the previous video, as you saw, there was a hedge without a stop loss. This video is going to showcase with a stop loss, and I'll briefly mention the slight advantages and possibly more disadvantages of using this method. However, it's still much better than having no hedge at all, because with a grid system, if a market continues to trend, as you can imagine, the drawdown would get quite unbearable. But with a hedge implemented, that doesn't be the case. Now let me just get the strategy tester started, and I'll let it get to the point where we need to be to demonstrate everything properly. So this one has a stop loss implemented. Now you can place that stop loss wherever you want in terms of pips. I've put it at 20 pips. That's just what I feel is a healthy amount. So the disadvantage, of course, with this being is that every time your stop loss is hit with the hedge, of course you're going in, you'll be making a bit of a loss, but that largely outweighs the prospect of large drawdowns and the overall loss you possibly could make, even crashing an account if you're not careful with these grid systems, if you're not using them sensibly. So okay, so we've got to a point where a bit of a trend has started. By the way, I'm using the exact same settings as shown in the last video, except that there's a stop loss involved this time round. So like I said, the losses are going to be small compared to what you potentially could end up with after a strong trend without a hedge. The advantage, if you like, of this method over the no loss method shown in the previous video is that although you come and hit a stop loss and you make a little bit of a loss, if your pain point, if you like, where you've put the cutoff point or where you want a hedge to activate is still present, i.e. As I mentioned in the last video, I've put it at £50. So when the drawdown is £50, a hedge is activated. If that's still the case, if your drawdown is still £50 or more than £50, another hedge opens pretty much immediately. And the advantage that this has is that it keeps the hedge in touch with the market. For example, in the previous method, if a trend had started and then reversed, that hedge that you've got at the top of the market in the uptrend, as you see in the previous video, because there's no stop loss, it just kind of stays there, it floats there. And what that means is that the recovery time, although it will eventually close out with the original grid trades, is that it takes a lot longer for it to recover. Whereas with this method, although you're making some losses along the way, it doesn't mean that the recovery time is a lot quicker. So if I play the video, and you'll see, if you have a look at the previous video, what exactly I'm talking about. So every time the market reverses and comes and hits my stop loss, it just means that the new hedge is more in touch with the market and is more likely to close out the furthest losers. So I think we're at the point where it consolidates and starts reversing. And I'll go through the figures, by the way. I mentioned in the last video that I'll talk about the figures that appear on the screen. Quite straightforward. I'll go through those very shortly after this little demo. Alright, so as you can see now, the market's reversed and it actually recovered a lot quicker. It got to a point where the drawdown became lower than the pain point than it did in the than with the settings of the previous video. So that's probably the only advantage that you have with this method, that recovery is a lot more quicker. So that's just a quick video basically just to show you how you can also use a stop loss with the hedge system that's inbuilt with the Super Hedge EA. So just to quickly go through the figures that you can see on the screen. So if I can just quickly move this out of the way. Alright, So if you ever look at these figures in grey, so that where you can see it says achieved, that just tells you what you earned on the day from the trades. So it's just showing £2.44 or whatever currency you might be using, but that's just for today. It doesn't show what was from yesterday, which was the day I started the trades. But if you quickly reverse on the video, you can see that in the bottom left, let's move this out of the way, you can see where it says buy and sell. That shows you exactly what's open, and that's just for your own benefit, just so you can keep a track of things of that are open. The way the settings are within the grid system is that it's heavily weighted towards sell trades, but that doesn't really matter, because it being a grid system, it's designed to make money whichever way the market wants to go. That's all that is there. And then on the right side here, you can see where it says summed profit in grey and also target. Now what that basically is showing you is the summed profit, of course, being the total of all trades that are in profit, and then the target being the furthest loser. And of course, when the summed profit is of the correct ratio in comparison to the furthest loser, that will go ahead and close out the furthest loser. And then in the top right, again, just so you can just for your own benefit, just so you know what's going on with the market, it's just got a combination of indicators and showing what the trend, basically, as you can see, quite a strong downtrend now after what was initially quite a strong uptrend, as you saw at the beginning of the video. So that's just the a second way of using the hedge function within the Super Hedge EA. Like I said before, many different ways of using the Super Hedge EA. I use certain ways, however I'm sure other people, if they were to use the EA, might prefer other ways. I pretty much know which are the best ways to use the Hedge EA, and of course those golden nuggets I can share with people who are interested in the EA. And I'll be making some more videos hopefully in the future, again just showcasing generally how the EA functions and what earning potentials that you can have with the EA. That's it really. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.